Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathashala. I'm Dr. Gayatri, Assistant Professor in Center of Advanced Study in Crystallography and Biophysics, University of Madras. The module we are going to deal now is on publishing crystal data of both small and macromolecules in the paper Biocrystallography. The major objectives of this module are: what are the parameters one has to consider to publish the data in several structural databases and also for publication of a manuscript? The parameters like resolution of data, data to parameter ratio, completeness of data, absorption coefficient, R value, occupancy. These are some of the important parameters, and also the Ramachandran plot and electron density validation in the case of a macromolecule. We will cover each and every parameter one by one. There are some of important parameters among many others one has to check while depositing the data either in small molecule database or macromolecule database. There are several journals available to publish the crystal structures of small and macromolecules. International Union of Crystallography has its own set of journals called Acta Crystallographica, varying from section A to F, which are devoted to the theoretical crystallography, small molecule structure determinations, crystallization communications, detailed analysis of novel small and macromolecular crystal structures, and also they have a dedicated journals which uses the synchrotron radiation in structure determination. The parameter we are going to see, the first is the resolution of data. It is a measure of the distance that indicates how well two adjacent atoms can be differentiated in a three-dimensional space. If two atoms are closer than this distance, then their electron clouds appear as a combined blob instead of appearing as two different blobs. In other words, the resolution is the smallest distance between the crystal lattice planes that is resolved in a diffraction pattern. Higher is a resolution means lower the numeric value, but higher is the quality of the data. In other words, one can say lower the resolution, higher will be the numeric value and lower will be the quality of data. There is always an inverse relationship between the quality of the structure and the resolution parameter. At higher resolutions, more reflection data sets will be collected. The number of reflections increases with the inverse cube of the resolution parameter. At atomic resolution, there is no overlap of electron density contour. Every atom will have its own electron density contour. With present-day technology, data collection is possible beyond atomic resolution also. For example, the data of rubredoxin, which is a small protein, the data has been collected at subatomic resolution level. Now let's see what is data to parameter ratio means. It is the ratio of the number of reflections to the number of parameters that needs to be refined. This ratio tells how well the structure has to be solved and refined. Higher the value of this ratio means the quality of the model is much better. In the case of an isotropic refinement, there are three positional coordinates and one thermal displacement parameter needs to be refined. In the case of an anisotropic refinement, in addition to three positional parameters, every atom will have 6 displacement parameters in x, y, z direction and along x, y, y, z and zx planes. In addition to these parameters, a scale factor must also be refined. What one measures from the diffraction experiment is a relative intensity, whereas there is another intensity termed as absolute intensity, which is a theoretical value, and there is always these two intensities are related by a scale factor. Completeness of data is a percentage of unique reflections collected from the reciprocal lattice space, which is the measure of quality of the data. It is the number of unique reflections measured over the number of unique reflections that are possible. Completeness of data will give a relationship on how much data or how many unique reflections one have to collect in order to obtain the complete picture of the reciprocal lattice space. For an ideal data set, the completeness will be nearly 100%. And for the publication of the data, the completeness must be greater than 95%. Rint and R sigma are the another parameters one has to check while solving the structural data. Rint is a merging error which is defined as the sum over the absolute difference of the measured intensity and the theoretically expected average intensity of Bragg reflections divided by the sum of measured intensities. Higher Rint value indicates incorrect Laue group. It may indicate incorrect Laue group, bad or missing absorption coefficient, crystal decomposition or twinning, goniometric problems, the covered reflections or some misalignment. So one has to carefully check the values of Rint. R sigma is the signal to noise ratio. It tells about the average error in the intensities of the reflections. As a cross check, R value should not be more than R sigma, that is, the R factor should not be more than R sigma. If Rint is larger than R sigma, then one have to check that there is some problem in the refinement or during the data collection. Mod E square minus 1 statistics is used to identify the presence of centrosymmetry. It is one of the best statistics being used to identify whether the system is centrosymmetric or non-centrosymmetric. This statistic gives a wide distinction between the theoretically expected values for centrosymmetric and non-centrosymmetric case. One can compare the experimental value obtained for this statistic with a theoretical value, and to whichever value it is closer, that's a correct case. For example, if mod E square minus 1 average is 0.968 for centric and 0.736 for acentric, according to the theory, if the experiment value is 0.718 for this statistics, that clearly tells that it belongs to a non-centrosymmetric case, that is, the system is acentric. Absorption coefficient. The fractional decrease in the intensity of an X-ray beam as it passes through any homogeneous substance is experimentally shown to be proportional to the distance it has traveled. In a differential form, it can be given as minus di by I equal to mu dx, where the proportionality constant is called as a linear absorption coefficient and it depends on the substance that is being studied. It depends on the density of the substance and wavelength of the X-rays. Integration of this equation will lead to a formula Ix equal to I naught e to the power of minus mu x. The negative sign here indicates the decrease in the intensity when X-rays passes through a medium through a certain thickness. This equation shows the intensity of incident rays decreases after passing through a medium of thickness x. If mu x is greater than 1, absorption correction has to be applied. Systematic absences means there are certain set of reflections that are absent due to the presence of certain symmetry operations. For example, in a case of a p2-1 space group, reflection of the type 0k0 where k is odd, the intensity of the reflection will be 0. But during violation of systematic absences, the reflections that should have intensities of 0 for the determined space group will have very small negligible intensity values. While running the program, if such reflections are included, the program will automatically reject those reflections. And the other parameter is inconsistent or bad equivalence, which tells about the pair of observed reflections that should have same intensities. But the diffraction data shows there is some difference in the intensities. These reflections are generally merged by using the command merge. R value or reliability index is one of the important parameter. It is an essential criteria to check the accuracy and it is also a measure of the structure quality. In other words, one can say that it is a measure of agreement between the amplitudes of structure factors that are calculated from the model and those from the X-ray diffraction data by taking a square root of the intensity. It is an important indicator to check the progress in refining the models. Lower the R value means better is the model that is proposed. There are two types of R factors. One is the calculated R factor with all observed reflections, and the other one is the R factor with reflections having the intensity greater than twice of sigma I, or the mod f which is greater than 4 times of sigma mod f. Among the various types of R factors, WR2 is a type of R factor which is found to be a good indicator during the entire refinement process. In macromolecular crystallography, another R factor which is termed as R free was introduced by Brünger, which is being used as a cross-validation scheme. It gives a less biased measure of the refinement process. R free is calculated with only a small set of reflection data, randomly chosen reflection data, which are kept aside from the beginning and used in the cross-validation or quality control process. These reflections are not used in the regular refinement process. Upon comparing the values of R factor and R free, one can actually estimate the quality of the model and the data, and also the extent to which one has overfitted the data. Generally, the R factor and R free differ by approximately 5%. R factor tells about how well the model at any stage of refinement predicts the entire data set that produced the model, and R free measures how well the current atomic model predicts a subset of measured reflection intensities that were not included in the refinement. Weighted R factor. This is again another parameter to check or to track the least squares refinement and also to monitor the convergence of the refinement. In this equation, the y can be f or f square or I. The value of weighted R factor is nearly 3 times the value of R factor. Among various types of R factors, this type of R factor is the one which is found to be a very good indicator during the entire refinement process. The next parameter is mean shift ESD and maximum shift ESD. These are the two indicators regarding the extent of refinement, whether the refinement has to be progressed further or it has to be stopped. These parameters tells us about the changes in the atomic coordinates and about the displacement parameters for each and every cycle of least squares refinement. The value of mean shift ESD and maximum shift ESD must be very close to 0 or equal to 0 for the refinement to converge. Beyond this, the refinement should not be carried out. Goodness of fit is another parameter to check the quality of the model. It is denoted by the symbol S. It must be around 1 for a good structure or a model. Goodness of fit is strongly affected by the weighing scheme. If the value is more than 1, then it indicates the model is bad or bad data to parameter ratio. If it is less than 1, then the model is better than the data. That indicates there are some problems with the absorption correction. Occupancy is another parameter one has to check. Occupancy of an atom is a measure of the fraction of molecules in a crystal in which atom actually occupies a position that are specified in the model. In certain cases, 2 or more distinct conformations are observed for certain regions in the structure, for certain atoms in the structure. Atoms that are involved in multiple conformations must be assigned the occupancies, but the total occupancy should be equal to 1, which results in estimating the frequency of alternate conformations and also gives an idea about the dynamics of the model. When an atom occupies 2 positions, then the total occupancy should be equal to 1. In a case of atomic resolution data of macromolecules, alternate conformations of some of the amino acids are very quite common. B factor is also known as a temperature factor or Debye-Waller factor. This parameter is used to describe the extent to which the electron density is spread in 3 dimensions. It also indicates the dynamic nature of an atom. In other words, if B factor is used to analyze the displacement of atoms from their mean positions in the crystal structure, it's because of the thermal vibration or because of static disorders that are present in the crystal lattice. Higher the thermal vibration means higher will be the B factor based on the relationship B equal to 8 pi square U square. We already know the expression Fj equal to Fj naught exponential of minus Bj sine square theta by lambda square, where Fj is the thermal vibration corrected atomic scattering factor. B factor distribution plot is a very useful tool that prevents improperly set B factor cutoffs. Refinement programs depend largely on the less trained B factor as a means to correct other problems that are not parameterized in the model, and the individual B factors are also absorbed in scaling anomalies, uncorrected anisotropy, and similar other problems. Whenever the B factor distributions deviate significantly from a physically reasonable distribution with a positive skew, it might be a good idea to investigate further. As long as the electron density, the correlation plots, and difference electron density supports the existence of few atoms with high B factors, there is nothing to worry about it. The occupancy and B factor adjustments. This is very important. The scattering factor curve of an atom and also its Fourier transform, the electron density, have different shapes for high B factor and low occupancy. But only at relatively high resolution, this difference is very distinct enough that independent simultaneous B factor and occupancy refinement are possible. Omit map. After doing the model building, it is always better to do an omit map. It was suggested by Blow and Butt to confirm the existence of electron density in a particular region. To do this, some of the amino acid residues are removed in the final stage of refinement, and an omit map is calculated to check the appearance of removed amino acids in the electron density map, whether it appears again or not. This could be done randomly at different regions as a cross-checking. Ramachandran plot, which was proposed in the year Ramachandran, Sasishekaran and Ramakrishnan in the year 1963, is the most widely used integral tool for polypeptide or for protein structure validation based on the phi and psi values of amino acid residues. Phi is a torsion angle for N-C-alpha bond rotation and psi is a torsion angle for C-alpha C bond rotation. There should be no or negligible percentage of amino acid residues in the disallowed regions of Ramachandran plot. White color portion in Ramachandran plot represents the disallowed region. If some amino acids occur in disallowed regions, then the electron density map has to be checked to see whether the backbone or side chain atoms of the amino acid residues that lie outside the electron density contours. If so, they have to be remodeled again so that these atoms always lie within the electron density contour for all possible rotations. ProCheck is a program that checks the stereochemical quality of the protein structure by producing a number of postscript plots for analysis of the overall and residue by residue geometry. It also includes ProCheck NMR to check the quality of structures that are solved by NMR. In order to examine the model stereochemistry, during the geometric model validation, model properties, the local environment, packing propensity against the empirical expectation values based on prior knowledge should be compared, and in many cases, well-established uncertainties will exist, and the deviation from the target values can be expressed by the values called Z values. Many of the geometric checks are already implemented in the model building programs, and much of the validation and outlier detection already takes place during the model building. The electron density based model validation is the ultimate evidence a crystallographer provides. The inclusion of local fit of electron density in the validation process is the direct means of obtaining an accurate picture about the quality of the model at any region. The fastest way to identify the problematic regions is by using the linear real space correlation coefficient, which is generally termed as RSCC, or by using the real space R value, which is termed as RSR, between the electron density and the model. RSCC plots are mandatory nowadays for manuscript review, and this can be computed by using the programs CCP4, Overlap Map, or some other programs that are available. RSR will give the similarity between the electron density map that is calculated from the model and the experimental data. RSR is generally performed for a set of atoms, maybe amino acids or the nucleic acid atoms, and more often RSR values are plotted against each and every residue. Expression for RSR is given as follows. RSR is equal to the summation over difference in the density of the observed and the calculated divided by the summation over the sum of the densities of observed and calculated. The symbol rho represents the electron density. RSCC is defined as the linear correlation coefficient between the observed and the calculated electron density. Uppsala EDS is an electron density server that provides the web programs to calculate the RSR values and RSCC plots for amino acid residues and also for the nucleic acids. A good model of a structure with average B factors typically have an overall real space correlation coefficient more than 0.9. That is, the RSCC value will be greater than 0.9. RSCC varies for each and every residue depending on how well each residue of the model fits the actual electron density map, and is thus very helpful, powerful and quick measure to gain an overview of the local quality of a model that is built. There are other validation tools that are available to check the quality of the model. One can use these tools at any stage of the refinement and also after doing the final refinement. SF check is called as a structure factor check. It provides the basic R value, R free and overall correlation coefficient statistics, as well as the publication quality Wilson plots, data completeness graphs and Luzzati plots. WATCHECK is another program that comprises several tools for protein structure verification. Based on a detailed report generated by WATCHECK, a summary can be created for the users about the structure. Mol probity is another validation tool where all atom structure validation is done for macromolecular crystallography. It validates the bond length, angles, 5-side torsions, side chain torsions, checks for non-crystallographic symmetries, peptide flips, any steric hindrance is there, C-beta deviations, NQH flips, the local environmentic profiles and so on. Validation of protein ligand complex structures must be done before depositing the data into PDB. The electron density assessment at and around the binding sites when a ligand binds is very critical. The errors and inaccuracies in this will affect the confidence and accuracy of the structure-based virtual ligand screening. Placing of a ligand into core density has to be avoided. Clear density not less than 1 sigma in difference Fourier maps should be there while fitting the ligand. While depositing data to the PDB, the full validation report must be written from the PDB through EDIT, and this is essentially a ProCheck report and SF check report of the structure factor analysis. After solving the structure of any macromolecule, say for example protein or protein ligand complex, it has to be deposited in Protein Data Bank. Protein Data Bank will provide a format for a standard representation of any macromolecule structure data that has been solved either by X-ray diffraction or by NMR studies. Protein Data Bank was created in the year 1971. It uses a macromolecular crystallographic information file for the deposition. Further information and related resources can be available from http://mmsif.pdb.org. For depositing the small molecule structures, Cambridge Structural Database is used. This database is especially used for depositing the small organic and metalloorganic compounds. International Union of Crystallography is a sponsor of Crystallographic Information Framework, which is generally called as CIF format. The acronym CIF format is used for both the crystallographic information file and also for the exchange of the data. There are certain rules that one has to follow, or the certain rules to be followed. What are the terms have to be included in the CSD, or what data has to be included in the CSD. The standard reference for this crystallographic information framework can be obtained from the International Tables for Crystallography, Volume G, Definition and Exchange of Crystallographic Data, which was edited by Sidney Hall and Brian McMahon. These are certain conditions, or certain parameters one has to check while generating the crystal structure report. Data collection. What is the source used for data collection? The source of the sample, and what are the conditions for crystallization? The appearance of the crystal, that is the color of the crystal, the dimension of the crystal, the molecular weight and formula weight. What are the unit cell parameters? What is the crystal type and what space group it belongs to? And one also has to give the details about the absorption coefficient and what instrument has been used for data collection and at what temperature the data has been collected, and what are the methods that used for solving the structure and also for refining the models. One also has to give details about how many number of parameters have been refined and any restraints are used, if any, and what is a weighing scheme, what is the overall R factor, and what is the R factor that is the weighted R factor, and what is the goodness of fit. All these values have to be included. Maximum and minimum of the final difference electron density also must be given. Positional parameters and isotropic or anisotropic parameters have also to be included. One can also include the hydrogen bond geometry. Though it's optional, one can also include the hydrogen bond geometry and the torsion angle geometry, the least square planes. These are all the other optional parameters that can be used for publication purpose. In order to publish a small molecule crystal structure, one has to show the thermal ellipsoid plot and also the packing diagram that includes intermolecular interactions and intramolecular interactions, if any. And before depositing in a Cambridge Structural Database, International Union of Crystallography has certain checkpoints where you have to deposit the data or submit the CIF file to check any error is present in the data or in the model. There are several alerts that will show up. Alert A, that indicates there is a serious problem. One has to really go deep and check the data refinement. Alert B indicates potentially serious problem. Alert C, we have to check and explain what is the where the error could have caused. Well, let's now summarize what we have learnt in this module. This module provided the outline of several parameters that are involved in checking and publishing the crystallographic models of both small and macromolecules. This module provided the various validation tools and the methods that can check the structure built, like the resolution of the data, data to parameter ratio, completeness of the data, absorption coefficient, R value, R free, WR2, Ramachandran plot. These are few of the important checkpoints one has to check to validate the model. Thank you.